G'day guys, what's cracking? What everyone's been waiting for, I have progress on my Godzilla engine going into Dumbo. So let's have a look. Now before I go too much further, I started doing this video like, I don't know, I think I worked it out, it was about 9 months ago I started doing this video. It was last year, middle of the year. I was trying to get everything ready for Drag Challenge. Now I did do a video saying I'm in Drag Challenge and going for it. I didn't compete, and that was because last year was a rough year for sicknesses in my household. I got a young fella, he's 2, winter time. For toddler is crap, going to daycare. They're like a petri dish, bring everything home, and yeah, ended up pretty sick. Got pneumonia, ended up in hospital for 4 days. Stabbed my eye with a pair of pliers and got 3 stitches in my eyeball. Yeah, gastro, anything that little thing could bring home, he did, and me and my wife got it as well. So it was a crap time, a lot of time off work, and I could not afford finishing this and going away for another week as well. So tried my hardest to do it, but in the end ended up pulling out. So not so much of a rush job now, but I'm still working on it. I've bought a heap of parts. A lot of people have been asking me what's going on with it. Things have still been moving forward with it. So bear with this video because some of it will talk about Drag Challenge, and let's just say it's referring to this year instead. So anyway, hope you enjoy. If you already watched my other video that says Drag Challenge in the heading, October last year I went to Drag Challenge when it was at the Bend, at Tailem Bend, new dragway in South Australia. Fantastic time, really enjoyed being a spectator, and just the vibe was awesome. Really wanted to be a part of that, and I've always wanted to do a vehicle to do that sort of stuff, but not just like drag and drive events, but you know, do hill climbs and just a everything car, really. I'm not trying to be the best at one thing, just want to have a crack at everything. So that was my goal, to even try and get this thing going. And yeah, as you can probably tell, my lack of videos, haven't done a whole lot. And now, we're in July, so August, September, October. I've got 3 months to have this car running. Still need to do fuel system, all the EFI, wire it up, engine. I need to still sort out an oil pump and a sump for the Godzilla. So yeah, a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. So I'm going to call on a lot of mates for this one. I do appreciate in advance any mate that puts his hand up. If I have mates, that'd be good too. But yeah, I have already ordered from Summit Racing in the States a Holley Sump swap kit for the Godzilla. I think money-wise, it's going to probably be my best option. As I've said before, being a broke bitch, you got to do what you got to do. So that kit is on its way, but like I've even made things worse for myself. You can see at the top here is a dash, because I was like, yeah, I'll just stuff around and, you know, start pulling the dash out to see if I can get my Holley dash in there, because I got the 12.7 inch screen, every inch counts, and it doesn't really fit well in the XB dash. I was like, oh, if I just pull it all out and just start playing around. And then I went and bought myself a XC dash, and then I was like, well, my windscreen's scratched, so I might as well pull the windscreen out, and then I can weld in the steel section at the top of the windscreen here, and then I can put the XC dash. Anyway, I was just making life way too hard for myself. So I'm probably just going to cut up the XB dash, whack it in there, and just got to make it work and do some work, that too. So anyway, this kit's going to rock up soon, hopefully. So we'll go over that when it rocks up. So probably going to have to start a new list to try and get this thing sorted. There's exhaust. I've got pretty much got everything for the clutch. I've got slave cylinder. I just need to get a master cylinder and do a line, but it's all those little fiddly things I've got to do that are just going to be time consuming and whatnot. I've got another diff for the rear end as well. So yeah, some things, but yeah, I don't know. we'll see what happens. Nice big box from the USA, Summit Racing, with some Godzilla goodies in it. So I can try and get this sad state of affair on the road. So let's have a look what's inside. All right, now this thing is open. Don't need that stuff. It's the best part about getting parts, isn't it? Opening up the boxes. So what we have here is hopefully all the parts I'm going to need to be able to finish my Godzilla swap of getting the engine into Dumbo and hopefully having an oiling system that works and all that sort of stuff. Now, I'm doing a bit of a gamble doing this. There's been one or two people that have cut up the Holley Sump, but not to fit the Aussie Falcon. There's a guy that's done it to fit AC Cobra. So it's a bit of a gamble. It's cost me about $3,000 getting it all landed here in Australia from Summit Racing. So yeah, the reason why I've gone this way is for sort of that factor. I just said it cost me $3,000 for the whole kit. That's oil pump, sump, timing cover, bolts, and everything else. The other options that we have here in Australia is the Profab sump, which I think sits at about $2,500. Happy to be corrected, but I think it's about $2,500. And then you're going to buy a pump as well, the Peterson external oil pump. The pump on its own was about $1,900, bit over. So close to that $2,000 mark. So already you're at $4,500. And that's just sump and pump. Still need to get brackets, still need to get fittings, oil lines, and stuff like that. So by the time you're done and dusted, you get the gear on the back of the dampener and blah, blah, blah. You're looking at probably, I would estimate, between that $5,000 and $6,000 mark. I would think more towards the $6,000 mark. So for half the price and my own time on cutting the sump up and welding up something different, I'm happy to give it a shot and see if it works. If it works, hope we're on to a good thing. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to open up the sump first because that's going to be the biggest telling factor. Let's have a look. At first glance, it's not going to be a fail. It's going to be more work than I thought. So there's a cast gallery there, obviously. So it's going to be your pickup going into there, up in your pump, out, down to your oil filter, and then, up in your block. So I don't know how well this is going to work, to be honest. I've got, a bit of work to do. The main thing I really wanted was at least like a flange. That stuff I can sort of cut out, and I don't know. Might be able to make something work. It's going to be interesting. Very interesting. It's a good bit of gear though. Looking at it, it's nice. If it fits straight up, I'd be absolutely cheering because this looks good. So this is my dummy sump. It's been in the weather a little bit, so don't stress too much, but gives me the general gist of, I suppose, alignment of the flange face to where the main section needs to be. If we line that up, so flange face and flange face, pretty much I've got to completely swap it. Need it at the front there. Yeah. I think it's doable. I think, I should be able to cut here, maybe weld that up, and then go straight down. Out here, and then I might just have to weld my sheet around. Well, I don't know. Something. Got to do something. All right, let's have a look at the front timing cover now. Nice. So that's not going to tell me what I'm looking for, because what I want to know is what that there is. I'm guessing that is the oil pressure adjustment. I did hear that the oil pump, you could adjust the pressure of the oil pump without actually taking the sump or pump out or anything like that. So that there is the pressure adjustment. So looking at that, it looks like it's got 4 bolts that hold the pump. I wonder if... Yeah, there you go. So it holds the pump by the front there. Interesting. Right, so Jared's gone home, and before I bolted the front timing cover on, I wanted to double check about the variable camshaft timing. Now, I wasn't sure if with the Holley, because I'm running the LS harness and that, don't have the provision to run it. I know with the inputs, outputs and stuff like that, I can add it as an extra thing, but now with the software that's out, I can actually run a Godzilla, but not sure how that'll run with the harness. Anyway, I've got a bit of things I need to try and work out and see what's going to be the easiest way. But if I don't plug that in, then it just reverts to 0. Doesn't advance, it doesn't retard, just locks it out at 0, which is a good start. And then I can try and get whoever ends up tuning this thing to maybe try and tune in as a, in the input-output side of things. They might be able to make it work so I can make the most use of it. It's going to give me that little bit extra horsepower and yeah, get a better overall curve throughout the whole thing. So I can bolt it all together. That's the good thing. So I'm going to start doing that now. Now it is time to get this sump sorted. I'm going to wing it. I'm just going to start cutting and do some welding. Got a general idea of what I want to do, but yeah, you'll just have to see what it looks like when it's finished. And just like that. Well, there we have it. That is all done. Got my pickup. Ignore the welding. Just welded an AN fitting on the end of that tube. Adapter. Welded another AN fitting there. So that'll pick up into the pump and then out this way. And I've got a port at the front, which will then go to my oil filter lines and then back in the bottom here. I've made it so this still fits relatively well. I do have to just relieve this section here where it hits the pickup, and then that'll bolt down and be able to continue to use the windage tray, which is awesome. Yeah, it is by far not pretty at all, but it'll do the job to get this thing going and make it happen. So there it is, sitting on the engine. Fits up pretty well. Did have a bit of bowage that I fixed up. Need to do a drain plug. But yeah, it was not a great starting point to start with, but made it work and it'll do. Ended up putting some studs under here to make things a bit easier because of how close that was. Could not fit bolts in there. So I bought a stud kit and that's all done. But the new design will be better refined and actually a little bit substantially different to what this one is. We'll have trapdoors and windage tray and all that as well. So it should be a good bit of gear. So I'm not going to button that sump up just yet. Still working closely with Chris Milton's Engine Developments. Semi down there is giving me a hand to do a design for this sump. I'm no guru. I've never pretended to be. But yeah, Semi's done a heap of racing and obviously running an engine shop. I've done some pretty cool engines and builds and stuff like that. So Semi's a world of knowledge. So much appreciated, Semi. He's my blue-eyed bitch. So yeah, we're looking at possibly doing like a little manifold or something like that to make things easy and pretty and stuff like that, but functional. So hopefully this episode has answered a few questions for you guys and helped guide you on your path on getting your Godzilla to fit into your Aussie Falcon. It has not been an easy thing to do at all when you don't have the money to throw at it or get sponsorships and stuff like that. If anyone wants to sponsor me. But yeah, moving forward, looking forward to putting some oil in this thing and getting it in the car, which will be very soon. Got a heap of parts inside the car to keep things moving and rolling. So 100% you're gonna see more videos this year and this thing's gonna run. It has to, determined, I'm gonna make it happen. So thanks again for watching and we'll see you soon.